Hey, everybody, and welcome to the HERstory Collaborative. My name is Jen Buck, and I am your host. I'm a professional speaker, a coach, a mentor, a nonprofit founder, and I have written 5 books. My business is focused on advocating, activating, and amplifying high-performing women, and that's what the HERstory Collaborative is all about. Talking to trailblazing women who are changing their little corner of the world. Now, today my guest is Donna Wilburn, and this is really fun for me because we have a strong relationship that goes back about 15 years. Donna is a licensed marriage and family therapist, and she's had her own practice for 20 years now. Now, she just opened up a new practice that's called Ohana Wellness Center, and we're going to hear a lot about that in the next 30 minutes. Now, Donna is also a wife, a mother of 2 boys, and she has 2 darling grandchildren that keep her moving all the time. I watch it on social media, and it's so fun to see. Now, I've been friends with Donna for, like I said, about 15 years, and this woman has truly, truly changed my life. And it makes me shake, actually, because I think about the major change that she has impacted in everything that I do and continues to 15 years later. So, Donna, it is such a pleasure and welcome to the collab.
Oh gosh, thank you. When I heard that you were doing this, I was like, I must be a part of it. I am so proud. And anything we can do to empower and uplift women, I am right behind you.
Yes, ma'am. It is all about that for me. And I've got so many incredible women within my circle across the country. And I just felt like this is the year, this is the year to really, truly do everything I can to amplify what they're doing. Because when we create space for one of us, it creates space for all of us. And that's really what this all sort of was birthed from, And so tell me what's going on with the Ohana Wellness Center. This is so exciting.
So, as you know, like we're in this pandemic and I have a private practice and it was just getting overwhelming. There were more people that needed help than I could help. Yeah. So I and my best friend, who is a prescriber, she's a nurse practitioner, we had to figure a way to help more people than just we can do ourselves. Yeah. So we got together, we teamed up, we got some interns, registered master's level interns, and we created Ohana Wellness Center, which can accept some insurance, provide low cost counseling, work with people who can't afford a private practice rate. And because we don't have enough time. So now with maybe 7 or 8 interns, we have expanded the potential for helping from 30, 40 people a week to could be hundreds of people a week.
Oh, I love that. I bet that there's a huge need right now with what's going on in the world. It's got to be incredibly busy right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of studies and articles out right now about the caregivers. Like we had to hold it together and help this crowd through the crash. It was like a sudden transitional change.
Yes.
And then as it got a little bit more routine and people were getting used to that change and they still needed help, then there were different stressors. So what they're showing right now is care providers, nurses, doctors, mental health are extremely overwhelmed. And so as a supervisor, I have the interns under me and I am always talking about, you guys need to focus on self-care. Yes. You cannot help people if you cannot take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have it to give them.
Yeah. I think a lot of us felt like as soon as we hit the end of 2020, this is all going to go away. It's going to be better. Everything's going to be fantastic. And boy, karma has come in hard and strong for 2021. And I feel like in my own circle of friends that people are much worse off right now than they were during summer, early summer where we'd been in for 3 months and all of us were itching to get out. I feel like people are so much worse off now. And I don't know if that's just the continuation of time or if it has to do with, what's going on in the country. It's kind of crazy. We've had a heck of a last 6 weeks, right? And so I'm not sure what's going on, but I can see it and sense it from all the women in my circle for sure.
Well, the thing that happens subconsciously that a lot of people weren't really aware of is that you lost your freedom.
Yeah.
You were living with a perception of being free, and then that got taken away from you. So as much as we've tried to cope and all that, you can only cope for so long.
Right.
Yes, we were optimistic, hoping that things would change in the new year and magically the gate would open and we're free. But logically, I think we all knew that wasn't really going to happen, but we were hoping that it would.
Yeah.
So if it didn't, then hope died.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for people right now.
That
There's
is,
almost people like who can get out who almost gave up. They don't even want to do it anymore.
yeah.
They're pretty depressed out there.
It's so scary. I'm so glad you're doing what you do, just because, I know that you've helped me through some really dark times, and a couple, actually 3 different really challenging situations that I went through. And to have you as a friend it's more than like I can express, like I said, but the way you've changed my life is immeasurable, because
It's you. I just give you a tool. You're the one who uses it. So I can offer you and educate you, but I call them students. You have to be a good student and apply what you learn, which is
yes,
what you did and what you
yeah,
continue to do. So
yeah,
the team takes a team to do
it
this.
does. It does. It does. So did you always want to do this? Were you always a kid that thought, when I grow up, I'm going to be a therapist?
Yeah, I don't think I realized what a therapist was. Of course, I was the caregiver type person. So I thought I was going to be a veterinarian.
Okay.
And then, like, as you get older and realize that's a heck of a lot of school, then
Yes.
maybe like who else can I care for? But I've always been that person who wants to help. I
Yeah.
have, which
Yeah.
has been a bit of a burden over this past year because I wanted to help more than I could.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy that I was getting depressed. So I had to do a lot of inner work to let go of the idea that I must help. I must help. It was 24/7.
Yeah.
I didn't have a break.
And
So I had to do my own work.
the irony must be, I don't know if it's irony, I don't know if that's the right word, but it must be challenging to see how the rest of the world is really slowing down, right? And you get to see different ways that people are living now, lots of baking and lots of family time and all those great things. And yet your world has totally ramped up. It must be
Right.
interesting.
Everybody's getting time off of work and hasn't had to go to work. And I'm like, where's my time off? It's increased. There's no break. And even on my days off, there's so much need right now. And it's such a crisis right now. I can't get someone calling me in a crisis and then go like, sorry, off duty. You got to respond, but that puts me into work mode even on my days off. So it's been very challenging.
I bet it has. I bet it has. So what were you like as a little girl? You said that you were a caretaker. What kind of little girl were you? I picture you as being someone very different than I know you to be. I pictured you as the little girl who was probably rambunctious, maybe the talkative one in the class who was doing, little pranks, just because I know you with all this energy and all of that. Now, were you that way? Am I?
Not at all. So this is probably who I meant to be without anxiety and fear and not wanting to make people angry. Okay. So I overcame that, but mostly during my childhood, I'm a rule follower. If someone says sit still for 3 hours, I'm sitting still for 3 hours, mostly afraid to get in trouble or make somebody mad.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of empathy, and if someone's upset or in a bad mood, or I feel it really heavy. So as a little child, I would do anything I can to prevent that from happening. And if that meant like do whatever they said to do, I will do whatever they say to do.
Yeah.
So now I was the most well-behaved child, and my mom will tell you I would not violate a rule if you paid me. I was like
Crazy.
Right?
You sprouted, my dear.
I bloomed.
Blossomed.
I
Exactly.
bloomed.
Yes.
Letting go of anxiety.
Which now you're filled with anxiety. Is that what you said?
No, letting go.
Oh, letting go. Yes, yes, yes.
Go of that anxiety. And I do realize I'm a hyper talkative, active little ADD person. That's me.
Totally. So what was the impetus for you becoming a therapist? Was there a moment? Was there something that called you to this work? What was it for you?
I think the science of people and their feelings. So my bachelor's is in psychology, and that people and understanding people has, I guess, always been something I'm really interested in. It's like a natural passion. Like,
Yeah.
what's with people and why do they act the way they act?
Yeah.
So, of course, it was psychology. And then going into a master's program, they give you like, do you want this master's or that are related to that, right? Like,
Sure.
if you have a psychology bachelor's, here's some masters that work well.
Right.
And I was thinking about being a psychologist, but that required an extra 2 years of school. And I was in college at 40 something. So
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, no time to waste here. So then I was going into the counseling field, and they called it marriage and family therapy. And
Mhm.
I like working with families and kids and things like that. So I thought that would fit me. But one of the professors actually tried to discourage me, saying, you're not going to make any money in that field. You're not going to find a place to work. You're going to have to have a private practice. It's really hard. You might want to go into community counseling. And I was like, but I like families. And
Yeah.
they were, yeah, I don't know. I don't think if you're going to, and I just stuck. I'm like, nope. Especially if you tell me no, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, watch me. And
Yep.
so I stuck with it, and it was the best fit. I've taken career quizzes and psychological tests, and every
Yeah.
one of them say counselor, 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 counselor. So I'm like, I lucked out. I
Yay.
found the thing that fit me.
Yes, I love that. So if I remember correctly, and my Polynesian cultural radar might be off a bit. Isn't Ohana family?
Ohana means family in
Yeah.
Hawaii. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Okay,
So
cool.
we thought that would be the perfect name for our agency, because we want to help the whole family.
I love that. I love it. So tell me, on your day to day, what is it that you love? What drives you? What do you love about what you do?
I have to tell you right now, and I'm 55 now, and we go through a lot of metamorphoses.
Mhm.
I am really enjoying connecting with people, like
Mm,
really enjoying, um, I guess you could just call it connecting, like getting to know somebody and creating change.
yes,
That's, even if it's little tiny change or systemic change or legislative change. I love creating change.
I love that. I love that. I, as you know, am an absolute extrovert. And this time since March 12th, and I've been really extremely quarantined. And I say that because I have really only gone to the grocery store in the last 11 months. I think, gosh, almost 12 months. I think maybe 10 times, maybe 15, maybe
Oh my
15.
goodness.
I've been really, really quarantined. And it's because I have lung issues and I'm really scared. And so I really have stayed in. And I was very nervous at the beginning about, being this really big extrovert. How am I going to handle it? And it was the most interesting thing for me to realize that I'd been starving my introvert. I'd been for years
Oh,
on the
neglecting
go.
your introvert.
Yes. And I
What?
I have settled in quite well to being really contained and really focused and, quiet. This has been a very quiet time for me. And luckily, I have a partner that allows me to be able to sort of live within this quarantine the way that I do. And I'm so grateful that he's taken on, everything. But the point is, though, I realized how really my introvert had been shut down. And I really am so much of an ambivert that I don't think I had really allowed that.
Right,
But
right.
I did realize this January when 2020 went away, but all of this didn't go away.
Mhm.
And I was one of those people that was sort of hanging my hat on, it's going to all get better, which is so unrealistic. And I'm not this unrealistic, but somehow in my brain, I thought there had to be an end to it. And I had to start reaching out more and getting more of those intimate phone calls in and spending time, really good time with people. Because as much as I've loved this quiet period, that extrovert still is the dominant trait. And so I've loved connecting with people too on a more intimate level, not in a great big Zoom, because I live on Zoom for work with all the trainings and keynotes and such, but this
Right.
one-on-one. And
This is what connection is. You
yeah.
do need a smaller, more intimate group for connection. I have to
Mhm.
tell you, as you're talking, I think connections is what people realized really means a lot to us as humans.
Yeah.
It's connections. It's not the amount of people that you're around. It's the quality of the connections with people that you're around.
Yes.
And as people have realized that, because, therapy land and all that, when we are disconnected, we are more prone to depression and loneliness. And that's from us.
Yeah.
But in order to really connect, you have to let go of fear. You have to be vulnerable. And it's in these little groups that we feel more comfortable to do that. Yeah. So people who are extroverted and maybe not really feeling those little intimate connections might have realized, I like this intimate connection thing. Yeah. And people who are introverted, which I was more introverted back then than I am now, kind of realized I like connecting. I like connecting with people. I enjoy it. It feeds me. Yes. So I know about, like, way back, there was research about children who were in orphanages as babies and didn't have that nurturing and connecting. And there's so much research about how we don't thrive without connections.
Right. And we don't physically thrive. Yes.
Yeah. We need that to thrive. We need to feel connected. So this I didn't tell you. I have actually created a podcast with a yoga instructor. Cool. And it's called The Connection Experience.
Nice.
And it's about connecting. What's blocking you from connecting? What are the obstacles to connecting, whether it be fear or codependency or trauma or addiction, or it's really talking about those particular subjects, because people really need to learn how to connect.
Yeah.
They really need to start really connecting.
Yeah. I like the phrase that I've heard several times in the media that talks about socially distanced doesn't mean emotionally distanced.
Yeah, right.
And that's what a lot of us did, I think. We sort of went in and then realized, wait a second, I'm starving. I need my people, and I need to feel the emotional connection and hug that I'm not able to get, in person. And I can see that in my own life. I remember when the quarantine occurred, it was just Zoom central. Everybody was jumping on House Party and all these video platforms to be able to see each other and have a drink together and all of those things. And it quickly got old, because it was too much stimulation.
Right.
And so then I think we took a step back, and then I think maybe we went too far back. And a lot of people lost those connections, and
so maybe it's about quality, like really learning it's the quality of the connection, not necessarily the number of connections.
Yes.
I think totally realize that it's not a numbers game.
Yes.
Not how many people I can have on a Zoom call.
100%. 100%. So in the middle of all of this, because I know as a living, breathing being, when you're taking that energy in, helping people through therapy, and you're empathizing on that deep of a level. And I know this is really one of your core characteristics, is to be that empath and connect. How do you keep yourself focused when it gets tough? What's your true north? How do you stay on track when things are so heavy?
I have two tools that help me stay healthy. One is I do really have to be self-aware. So even while doing a session, and thank goodness for this ADD brain, I can multitask and think of multiple things at the same time. And one of those is where I'm at. Am I starting to get too deep? Because I will tear up and I will feel their pain. And especially if it's like a parent or a child, who needs love or whatever, I do feel it coming on. And so what I have to do, it's kind of like meditative breathing to calm myself down and then redirect my thoughts to the analytical area of my brain. So I might listen to their words a little bit more deeply, or start planning a strategy or whatever that may be, because I'm using the other side of my brain a little bit too much regarding the empathy and all that. So I redirect the energy to the other side of my brain. It takes self-awareness to do that. And then afterwards, gosh, I need to process really bad. So I'm processing. I'm in a group of therapists, and I need to get this out. I cannot hold things at all. I'm terrible at it.
Yes.
So I need to process right away and release that stress from myself.
So healthy. So healthy. One of the things that I've learned is box breathing. So for anyone tuning in, it's something that they work with our, most premier level military individuals to help them when situations get really extreme and anxiety comes because you're human, not because you're not prepared, not because you can't do the job, but because you're human, and the box breathing is really helpful as well. So I know that those breathing techniques, whatever they are, and allowing your brain to shift is so key. So I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, that breathing, that breathing has helped me through a lot of really tough sessions.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it does. I bet. So what would you tell young women who are moving towards their career, starting to establish who they're going to be and what they want to do? What's a piece of advice that you would give to them as they are starting out that might help them with their journey?
I think I would say, and this is something I see in session and in older women who neglected themselves, would be genuine, be authentic, like get to know who you are and stay true to who you are, not who society says you should be, or your parents say you should be, or your friend says you are. Get to know yourself and stay authentic. You will find what is meant for you, and it will fit like a glove, and you will be as successful as you want to be.
Yes. Authenticity and bravery. Those are my jam. When it comes to working with women, I think that's so key because society wants you to be one thing, but your soul contract says you're supposed to do something else. And too often we go with what society says because, our feminine dilemma is to please, right? Instead of carving our own path. And I think that's the greatest answer. And I probably would have answered that the exact same way. I just think
so. As you say, bravery and authenticity, like it takes bravery to have authenticity.
Yes,
I say, find that warrior inside. We are tougher than you think. We are built to be strong.
Yes.
And that's in there. And when you get in touch with that, you realize there's no stopping you.
No.
Like that warrior woman, when you find your warrior, there is no stopping you.
That's right. We are daughters of Athena. We are all daughters of Athena. And while we can extend the olive branch, we are also here to absolutely kill it. And I always try to get women to understand what that is. And it starts with bravery and it leads right into authenticity. Absolutely. So love it. Absolutely love it. So if you could tell yourself one thing that would make a difference for your own journey. So we're going back now to young Donna when she was, I don't know, little, maybe a teen, whatever it might be. What would you tell her? What would be the advice you tell her to help her maybe have a smoother journey if that's the case?
I would say be adventurous, overcome those fears.
Love it.
I probably could have made some really fun choices that I didn't because I was so super nervous. Yeah. And so I probably wouldn't just say get over it, but I would probably help that young Donna let go of anxiety and let's go on an adventure. Let's do something fun.
I love that. What a great answer. I love that. So we're to the point now where I've got some speed round questions. Okay. And these final questions are just meant for you to tell me what comes to you in the moment. You don't have
to like your first thought. Don't think about it. Here we go.
Okay. Totally.
So get to know me without my logic trying to.
That's right. Okay. That's right. So here we go. So who would be your favorite woman from history that you would want to spend an hour with at the end of your park bench?
Helen Keller.
Oh, that's a great answer. No one's ever said that. I love
super duper brave and must have been super confident for with all that she did with all the challenges that she had.
Totally. Oh, it's a great answer. So are you a night person, an afternoon person, or a morning person?
Afternoon and evening.
Okay.
Not morning at all.
Okay. Yeah. The older I get, the less I am. And I was always a morning person, but now I sputter in the morning. It's all changing these days. So what's your first purchase or spend that you would make if you won the lottery? A big amount.
Pay off debt.
Oh, really?
All that money would pay it off to zero everything out. That's what I would do. Zero everything out.
So responsible of you. Wow. I admire that. What's your favorite book?
Gosh, that one's hard. I haven't read for pleasure. You know what I would say, honestly? Stephen King, It.
Oh gosh, that's a good one. That's such a
Yeah,
good one.
that was
Yes.
kiss to me. I love me horror novels.
Yeah. 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 So do you have any regrets?
Um, I can't really say they're regrets because everything led me to where I am, and I really like where I am. So I
Yeah.
can't say they're regrets. Um, I don't know. I don't do that. No. Mm-mm.
Good. I like it. Great answer. Now, imagine you are getting ready to step on stage in front of 30,000 people who are here at this event to listen to your brilliance. And what would your theme song, your power song be as you walk on stage?
Um, honestly, it would have to be something about love, and it's probably the Beatles song. What is it? Love is all there is. What is it called? All you need is love.
Okay.
Love from
Love
the
it.
Beatles.
Okay. And then are you living past 100?
I don't think so. I don't have an urge to do that.
No. Interesting.
No.
Interesting. Join my club. It's going to be fabulous.
Are you going to be like?
Oh, yeah.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
living it forever?
Oh, yeah. I'm going for 125. I'm going for
Oh,
125.
okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
live as long as I can. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best word to describe you?
Weird.
Weird. I didn't expect that at all. That's a great one. That's a
I'm not like super predictable, I guess. I'm a little on the random side.
I totally love it. Oh, I love it. So finish this sentence. When I'm an old lady, I hope to see.
The world. I want
Mm,
to go everywhere.
nice.
Everything.
Yes.
Every site that's cool. In every country, I want to do that when I'm old.
I totally love it.
Forever,
What a
whether I'm
great
young or
answer.
old.
Yeah. What a great answer. I remember being on a cruise and these people who I met had actually decided to live on a cruise. So they lived on a cruise 12 months out of the year and they figured out that it was less than having a car, the insurance for the car, the rent, all the stuff. They figured out that it was
different
less.
cruises. They
Yeah.
like this one here, then that one.
Different cruises every single time.
I'm going to do that for a year.
Isn't that brilliant?
Do
Yeah.
that.
And they figured it out that it's actually much more inexpensive than trying to live. I mean,
I'm taking that idea.
greatest idea.
So right now I do solo car camping. So I go find places. I have my car it's a SUV.
Yeah.
So I have tubs of stuff and I make it like a little bedroom in there.
Oh my
And I
God.
take my dog with me and a cooler and some chairs and a book and some pretty fairy lights. And I go find somewhere and camp myself out by myself for like a couple of days and reboot.
That is such a great idea.
It's fun. If you do it one time, you're going to be addicted.
That is such a great idea. And it's fun for me because I watch your little travels, on social media and I'm always seeing you go somewhere. So now it explains it.
Yeah. All by myself.
I love that.
My husband got me a GPS thing for so he can always find me because there's no signal.
Yeah, sure. Oh gosh, that's glorious. I love it. So Donna, I could sit here and do this with you forever.
No.
I think this is I just love you to pieces. And I am so grateful to have you as one of the cornerstones in my life. I feel like you're sort of one of the always there people that I value so highly. And it means the world to me that you spent some time with me here
I am so proud of what you're doing, lady. So proud.
Thank you. Thank you. So Donna, can you tell people where they can find you if they want to reach out and connect with you?
Sure. So I have two websites. One's for my private practice. It's donnawilburn.com, spelled just like my name up there. And then our agency has a website. It's ohanawc.com. And you can go to either of those, or you can just Google me. You can Google my name and hunt me down. I'm in Las Vegas. So Donna Wilburn in Las Vegas and stuff will come up.
Lots of stuff. You are a local celebrity around there on the news regularly, and it's very fun to.
I will talk anytime, you know that. I will talk about mental health at any time.
Exactly. And I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for tuning in to the collab. I'm grateful that you spent a little bit of time. I do want to say, if you're interested in getting in touch with me, you can go to Jen Buck Speaks, because I am always speaking.com. And this show is sponsored by an incredible group out of Arizona. And what they do is they help students who are needing sanitary napkins and Tampax. And these are kids that have been hit with tough economic situations. And because of their economic situation, they're unable to get the products that they need. And so what Go With The Flow does in Arizona is provides these period packs that are in these cute little packages, and they give them out to all the schools for free. So if you're interested in getting involved or being a part of Go With The Flow, you can go to gowiththeflowaz.org. So thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Loved
Bye,
it.
my friend. Take care.